guns are ordered to engage the Prince of Wales, scoring 1 or 2 hits would fail to penetrate her heavy armor plate. The Prince Eugen is then ordered to shift her fire onto the Prince of Wales in order to keep both enemy vessels under fire. And a few minutes later, the Prince Eugen scores 2 direct hits on the British ship, which set off several small fires. The Prince Eugen then drops behind the Bismarck so that she can use her radar to monitor the location of the Norfolk and Suffolk, which have been shadowing the battle. At 0600 hours, the Bismarck scores a direct hit on the hood with an armor-piercing shell, which penetrates deep into the bowels of the ship and detonates 112 tons of explosives stored below. A massive explosion immediately breaks the back of the hood, splitting her into 2 pieces. The battle for the Atlantic has only lasted 8 minutes so far, and already the British have lost 1 ship and 1,419 men. The Bismarck immediately shifts her fire to the Prince of Wales. The British ship is now outnumbered 2 to 1, and the Bismarck manages to score a direct hit with its first salvo, striking the bridge. The round does not explode on impact, but instead passes through the bridge and out the other side, though it kills everyone inside save for Captain John Leach and 1 other officer. Hurt and limping, the Prince of Wales nonetheless returns fire. It scores several direct hits on the Bismarck, hitting her on the forecastle and above the torpedo bulkhead, and flooding a turbo generator room. A third round passed straight through a lifeboat and the float-plane catapult, though it too fails to explode on impact. By 0613, most of the Prince of Wales guns are out of commission, and she's taken very heavy damage. Captain Leach orders the ship to retreat, and she immediately lays out a smoke screen to cover her withdrawal, with the Germans firing the entire way until at last she's out of range. Aboard the Bismarck, Captain Lindemann insists on giving chase and finishing off the heavily wounded British battleship, but Admiral Luchen refuses and quotes operational orders that state the ships must not actively engage any forces not protecting the convoy. At first, the Bismarck doesn't seem to be seriously damaged, but after the Prince Eugen spots heavy streams of oil on both sides of her wake, the Bismarck is ordered to make for Saint-Nazaire in occupied France for repair. The Prince Eugen is ordered to detach and commence its attacks on Allied shipping, leaving the Bismarck to steam back to port alone. The Prince of Wales, meanwhile, has joined the Suffolk and Norfolk, which are still shadowing the Germans, though it's ordered to the rear of the formation, giving her extensive battle damage. A British flying boat spots the oil slick being left behind by the Bismarck and reports it to the British ships, who report it back to the British Admiralty. Seeing a chance to destroy Germany's most powerful ship, the British order all available ships to give chase, and in total 6 battleships and battle cruisers, 2 aircraft carriers, 13 cruisers, and 21 destroyers all begin the hunt for the Bismarck. At 1814 hours, the Bismarck suddenly turns on the 3 British ships and opens fire. The Suffolk, well out of range of its smaller guns, breaks away at higher speeds, though the Prince of Wales, which has repaired 9 of its 10 damaged guns, fires 12 salvos in response. No hits land on either side, though the brief action diverts the British attention and allows the Prince Eugen to finally break away and head out to the Atlantic. With the Eugen away, the Bismarck turns back and resumes its course to port. She's been damaged and slowed, but it's still steaming along at 28 knots, the maximum speed of the chasing British ships. If she can't be slowed down, the British won't be able to stop her from reaching port, and once under cover from the Luftwaffe, any attempt to sink her would be suicidal. In desperation, the British launch a nighttime strike from the nearby aircraft carrier Victorious, which launches 6 fighters and 9 torpedo bombers. As they approach their target, though, the inexperienced air crews almost attack the Norfolk and a U.S. Coast Guard cutter by accident, and the confusion alerts the Germans to their approach. As the torpedo bombers finally spot the correct target, the Bismarck lowers her guns to maximum depression and opens fire, creating huge splashes in the water path of the incoming bomber, which must fly low in order to release the torpedoes. None of the aircraft are hit, but only 9 of the torpedoes finds its mark, striking amidships along the armored belt that protects the ship. The damage is light, but the stress of evading the incoming torpedoes has caused flooding from the forward shell hole scored earlier by the Prince of Wales. The flooding forces the crew to abandon the port number 2 boiler room and slows the Bismarck down to a speed of 16 knots. By morning of the 25th of May, though, the damage has been largely controlled cruise, and the Bismarck is once more able to steam along at 28 knots, entering waters known to be prowled by German U-boats. The British are forced to zigzag in order to avoid the lurking threats, which further adds to the Bismarck's growing lead. Successfully breaking radar contact, the Bismarck circles away to the west and then the north, confusing the British, who by this point are low on fuel and desperate to make contact again. Unaware that she has successfully shaken off her pursuers, though, the Bismarck sends a radio message to Naval Group in West Paris, asking for Luftwaffe air support. British codebreakers decrypt the messages and successfully triangulate the location of the Bismarck, though a mistake by the pursuing British puts them on the wrong course for 7 hours, adding even more distance to the Bismarck's lead. The British immediately ordered every available ship and plane to search for the Bismarck. It's not until 10:30 on the 26th of May that she's spotted again by the U.S. Navy pilot north of Brest. If the Bismarck isn't stopped soon, she'll be in range of friendly U-boats and the Luftwaffe in less than 1 day. Yet most of the British forces were not close enough to stop her. The only possibility to stop the Bismarck lay with the Royal Navy's Ark Royal, a small aircraft carrier equipped with antiquated swordfish torpedo bomber biplane. The odds couldn't have been longer, but the chance to sink Germany's most powerful ship and break the back of the German Navy would quickly pass, and so the swordfish are ordered into the air. Armed with magnetic detonator torpedoes, the swordfish proceed on a bearing to the Bismarck, but instead encountered the heavy cruiser Sheffield, which has been ordered to shadow the Bismarck, though the pilots were never told. Believing they were at their target, the swordfish proceed to attack the Sheffield, though the magnetic detonators on the torpedoes fail, and the Sheffield is unscathed. Returning to the Ark, the swordfish are rearmed with contact detonator torpedoes. At 19:10 hours, the flight of 15 swordfish take to the air, and at 20:47, the attack on the Bismarck begins. Plunging through the growing cloud cover, the small biplanes are raked with anti-aircraft fire, even as the Bismarck fires its main guns on the Sheffield, which has moved into range hoping for a critical hit from a torpedo attack. The first few salvos managed to score hits on the Sheffield, though, when the cruisers forced retreat under a cover of smoke. The torpedo bombers meanwhile avoid incoming anti-aircraft fire and use their torpedoes against the Bismarck, which is by now zigzagging violently to avoid an attack. Torpedo after torpedo misses the German ship until finally two manage to hit. The first doing minor structural damage, but the second explodes on the Bismarck's stern near the port rudder shift. The rudder becomes locked in a 12-degree turn, and the Bismarck is no longer able to sail straight. Instead, sailing in large circles, utterly helpless versus approaching British forces. Whether miracle or luck, the antiquated biplane torpedo bombers have managed to do the most modern British ship's torpedo. And now the Bismarck's fate is sealed. Aboard the Bismarck, Admiral Lutchen sends a radio dispatch to fleet headquarters at Port. The message simply reads, "Ship unmaneuverable. We can fight to the last shell. Long live the Fuhrer." Her crew, fully cognizant of their fate, grow increasingly